I have to say this. The amount of stupid in this town is really quite mind-altering. Amon-Ra St. Brown gets his money. And what I proceeded to listen to and what you people put Doug and Scott through was criminal. The amount of raw stupidity. People calling in, that's a big house. Hope you can keep it clean. Amon-Ra St. Brown is, at worst, a top 5 receiver in the National Football League. Amon-Ra's gotten better factually every season of his career. Do you know what Amon-Ra St. Brown doesn't do? Drama. He's the most Detroit athlete we have. He defines grit, shows up, shuts up, puts up. And now it's time to pay him like Tyreek Hill. Except the difference is this dude can keep his snake in the cage. This dude doesn't have problems off the field. This dude's not out doing 18 million podcasts saying 19 million stupid things.
Wait, he's not out challenging Deion Sanders in his prime?
My entire point of this is you people need to stop doing this to Doug and Scott, and you need to grow the F up. You wanted a good football team, you got it. This is what being a Super Bowl team is. You get elite players, and you pay them as such. And a guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown, you shouldn't like paying him. You should love it. He defines what we want in this town. He defines what you're allegedly about. And people are out here acting like a bunch of bitches. It's ridiculous. Oh, he seems a little small. He's brittle. A cutscene. Never misses a game, ever. Blocks, shuts up, never cries about targets, loves his starting quarterback, loves this town, and comes from a family where it is like a non-negotiable. Man, you're going to do the work, or his dad will kick his ass. So I really just – you people need to change the way you're thinking, because you've waited a lifetime for the Lions to be good. You've waited 2 lifetimes. And now you are, and this dude, all he's done is come to town and emulate what we respect in this city and work. And he never cried about it. He's been woefully underpaid since the day he got here, and now you're paying him like an elite receiver. And the only thing I heard, and God bless Doug and Scott because they're doing God's work. I'm not. People need your head checked. Too small, slot receiver. Man, they had a call in saying he could be replaced by a draft pick. Who you drafting, Christ? The guy might be the best receiver in the league. And he happens to like it here. He ain't trying to go to L.A. or Miami. He's not trying to do photo shoots. He's not trying to strong-arm you or get his way out of here. He's not demanding a different quarterback. All he does is go to work. You may as well have that Pistons work whistle from 20 years ago because the current bum-ass team ain't using it. You may as well play it for this kid. I'm thrilled they paid him. I've tried to tell you it was going to be 4 at 120 or 5 at 150. You didn't want to listen. But what's not going to happen now is I'm not going to be nice like Doug and Scott. They sat here and catered to your stupidity. I won't. If you don't love this deal, you're an idiot. Period. There is no other side of it. Oh, geez, that's a lot of money. What are you, the ants from that commercial?
Right. Well, yeah, they're talking about, well, what if he gets injured and blah, blah, blah. Like,
man, please, what if you walk out of your house and get hit by a bus?
The man just shows up all the time. Because when you Mike, you nailed it. When you make that much money, it almost comes with you need to be a diva too at wide receiver. You need to be a look at me type of guy. And he's not, because he just gets it done, and he gets it done quietly, and that's it.
Here's what you just signed today, Rico. Amongst wide receivers, since he walked in this football league, 8th in receiving yards, 5th in receptions, 7th in touchdowns, and number 1 in my heart. I have told you, he's my favorite player in this city regardless of sport. I respect the work.
And here's what people also have to remember. You see the number, you run away, and you get scared, except the cap keeps going up and up every year. So you know what that means? That means at some point, this contract's not going to be what you think it is. Even right now, it's not what you think it is, because didn't the salary cap go up like $40 million this year? So in essence, he's getting paid with the free money. He's getting paid with all that gambling money, with all that the TV and the streaming money. That's what's paying Amon-Ra. It's not really the Lions. So you shouldn't be upset. You shouldn't be bothered. You paid the man because he's a key part of this offense.
This is really step 1 in you becoming a Super Bowl team.
It's big boy football.
Right, because guess what's going to come next? You're going to make Penei Sewell the highest paid tackle in the history of organized football. Yeah. And then you know what's going to happen next? They're going to move him to left tackle, and they're going to assassinate Taylor Decker.
Because what happens...
And it ain't personal.
No, what happens in big boy football, you have to pick and choose your core. And some people are going to go. And they're going to go by to the wayside. And you know what? Some are going to be your favorite players. Some are going to be the guys that you have the jerseys of. That's what happens. You don't get to keep everybody. You only get to keep a select few, and then you got to start all over in the draft. The beauty of it is, as I told Scott and Doug in Crosstalk, you have a GM who has a knack for going out and getting young players. So you hold on to your core. You bring in the young players. That's how teams like the Steelers have been doing it for decades. There's a reason why they don't miss the playoffs, because they do that type of work where, okay, got to keep these guys, but these guys, we love them, but they're expendable. When their contracts come up, we're just going to say goodbye to them and send them on their way. Detroit, I know, you've fallen in love with players for decades, but now this is different. Now you're playing with the big boys. Now you got to pick and choose. So you said Taylor Decker, probably going to be gone. You know, they got to decide. Aleem McNeil, maybe he's back, maybe he's not. Maybe this is where they say, maybe we draft his replacement this year. You can't just start saying, well, we got to keep all of our guys, because that does not happen.
But to your point, look, I'll throw the number out, 248-539-9797. You can take a text as well, but the conversation is appreciated. I just can't do what Doug and Scott did, which is primarily be nice to stupid. This is a play. There is no player on any team in this city, any sport, that exemplifies what we want out of our athletes, or exemplifies specific to where they play what we are about. It is unfathomable to me what I listen to. So if you really have a problem with this, I'll listen. But all I can tell you is this. You just signed a guy who outperformed Justin Jefferson last year, according to Pro Football Focus, who outperformed A.J. Brown, who outperformed everybody. And in your scheme, the amount of wide receivers that are willing and excellent, blocking, doing the dirty work, taking the double team, not bitching about targets, coming up huge in big spots, and all he does is work. Man, I'm happy to pay guys like this. This is a rarity in sports. And while most athletes are complete degenerates and scumbags, this is not one. Like, this is a kid you want to invest in. This is a kid you want to have repping your town. It's unbelievable to me. You know what it is, though? Lion fans, what was it? The Beverly Hillbillies. That's Lion fans. You're new money. You have no idea about what the hell you're doing. So load up your wagon with your piano and your little straw hats and whatever else you're wearing. Figure it out, man.
The cement pond.
Yeah, honestly.
All of a sudden, whenever we hear that chime in music, somebody's always at the front door.
Figure it out. You have lived a lifetime to get to this point where you want to pay somebody $30 million based on the work they've done and because you're winning.
Right, but then here's, not me, but you'll also get to the point where, well, if he was so good, why'd they throw the ball to Reynolds on fourth down?
Because Amon-Ra was busy probably taking 3 defenders with him. And Josh Reynolds was wide open. And Josh Reynolds is dependable. And by the way, the slander about Josh Reynolds is wrong, because without him, you wouldn't have been in that game. Because Jared Goff lobbied to get Josh Reynolds here. Because Josh Reynolds makes so many big catches. And the worst part is his entire story as a Lion will be distilled wrongfully into 2 plays.
Yep.
Sorry.
No.
You know me. I don't like many athletes. And I don't sit here telling – I'm just telling you. I don't know Amon-Ra from a hole in the ground. I'm just telling you what this dude is about, and I am thrilled that he wants to be here, and you could pay him and invest in a stock that keeps getting better, that makes your team better. I couldn't, but I tell you, Doug and Scott deserve combat pay today.
Well, and I also like the fact that looking at the deal, it's a win-win. Lions get to keep him. He makes his money. He's getting reportedly $77 million up front. Now, we haven't seen all the details, but, Mike, this looks like a front-loaded contract, so that when the other contracts come up, because you know a ton of Detroiters are sitting there worried about, well, you got to pay Aiden, and what about Laporta, and what about J-Mo, what about – by the time we get to them –
how do you put J-Mo in that category? If it came down to it right now and J-Mo were a free agent, you wouldn't sign him.
But you never know. I think
He has to do the work.
I think this is his breakout year. Stay away from the foolishness.
Hope you're right. Happy to pay him if it's the case.
If J-Mo, you do what you did in the NFC Championship game all year long, we're going to be having this conversation about him as well. But by the time all of those contracts come up, St. Brown's already gotten most of his money. And he probably knows, and his agent probably told him, you may be a cap casualty where the Lions may have to let you go in that final year. He's gotten his money. He's probably given you 3 more great years, not including this year, as a Lion. And now maybe that's when the Lions have to hit that reset button. But you're in the middle of a run. And the Lions are acting like a team that's in the middle of a Super Bowl run. You keep your core pieces, you pay them, you keep them together. You can't keep everybody, but this was one that you needed to get done because that number was only going to go higher and higher and higher. I mean, it's funny because they showed Brandon Ayuk on Instagram as he's dancing when he saw what St. Brown got because he's going to want to get paid.
And St. Brown's twice the receiver of Brandon Ayuk.
Right. Jefferson's going to want – like all of these guys are going to want to get paid. So if you're the Lions, it was smart. Let's just pay him now because that number – never. Mike, you've been following football for the longest. Tell me whenever a number starts to go down. Never. So you're going to pay a number, and at some point, you're going to be the highest paid position player.
Yeah, I know we have to break, okay? We were a little late, and we're going to finish the damn segment. Everybody just calm down. 248-539-9797. I don't need the chirping about break times. Rico's in the middle of a point. Now you can tell people about Andrew Pavlik, damn it.
Okay.
I'll tell you what. I blame my general state of mind right now on Doug and Scott's callers. That's who I blame.
All right.